It's always a joy to be present here with the Inspire community. I love it here, and the open arms, like a big hug when I come in, and so I really appreciate all of you. Um, yes, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all those who have mothers and all those who are working through mother stuff. Like it's the day that we get to be present with ourselves in a particular way, and we get to love ourselves and love all of those that we are connected to. So I just offer that. And if flowers are your thing, I was gonna put a whole big bouquet behind me, but my little shirt on the on the ad is enough blooming for that for the week. Um, so in the whenever we think of blooming, right, we think of flowers, we think of, the opening up to the fullness of our being. um and I have some roses in my front yard, and I bought them. They're the little tree roses that have the nice little, when you buy them, they have this nice little bouquet, and they're kind of 4 feet tall. When you get them, you put them in, and they have a nice little manicured little bush there of roses, and then they grow. And they grow. So this bush that we bought probably maybe 3, 4 years ago now is probably up above the roof. It's like 10 feet. I always have to trim it down, but it hurts my heart to trim it. I have a little trauma about that story. Maybe I'll share it with you. But they are beautiful and blooming, and they bloom all year round, and even their blooms start to bloom, and there's this magnificent uh fuchsia, yellow, orange roses that are just amazing. Um, and as they grow larger, they lean. They're leaning towards the light. They're leaning towards more light. And it's just this interesting thing that if we're talking about blooming into brilliance, the brilliance of the sunlight that nurtures the roses, they're blooming into that brilliance. But what I know to be true is that the brilliance, the light, is what we already are, is what the roses already are, right? There's that creative energy, the nature of our being is light. And so I just want to open this up a bit. And so that being the essence of our being, our true nature, we want to really establish that energy. And so I'm just using the metaphor of the roses as being this beautiful bloom that leans into the light, but it already is beauty and light itself, right? So there's this connection that takes place. And as it instinctively leans toward the light, it's drawn to its truth, it's drawn to its natural beauty, it's drawn to itself as the light. And when we connect light to light, or allow our brilliance, our light to be seen, and then as it connects to that other source of light, I call that brilliance. When that connection of light meeting light expands in a realization. Just like, we have an idea, and that idea makes itself known, and then all of the resources come together in a creative flow of energy. What do we call that? We call that brilliant. So that's my definition of brilliance, is when our own light is realized and it emerges from within, it expresses, and it's met. There lies our brilliance. We bloom into brilliance. I want to read a bit that speaks a little bit to this from Reverend Michael's 40-Day Mind Fast Soul Feast. If you don't have this, you should get it. But there's 40 days of amazing inspiration and affirmations in it. And the one I'm going to read is from day 20, and it's entitled Delight as the Light. It's one of my favorite readings. I use it often. But it starts with a quote, and I never can pronounce the name, but I will try. Rabindranath Tagore. But he says, in the arrangement of the world, there is seen the expression of the light, which shows that in the universe, over and above the meaning of matter and form, there is a message conveyed through the magic touch of the individual personality. So Reverend Michael writes, "You are literally the delight of God. In a moment of pure intention, supported by your sincerity of practice, you will hear your brother Jesus saying, 'You are the light that lights up every man and woman who comes into the world.' It is because Spirit yearns to share itself with you that it has placed its essence within you." I'll say that again. Spirit yearns to share itself with you that it has placed its essence within you. This indwelling presence is what allows you to commune with God. Don't keep the Spirit waiting, because doing so postpones your delight in experiencing a relationship of unimaginable beauty. Meditation and affirmative prayer are the divine doorways that through which you walk into communion with the delight of all life. When you set your intention to move through this incarnation, celebrating as the light that you are, you will be lifted out of the secondary causative factors which have hypnotized you into believing that you are here on earth to cope with your existence through the overcoming of problems and challenges. Wake up to the realization that, as Sri Aurobindo put it, to seek for delight is the fundamental impulse of life. To find, possess, and fulfill it is life's whole motive. God-adoring hearts beat to the rhythm of cosmic love, cosmic delight. Today, be one of the greatest lovers God has ever known. With every step you take, talk to God about the delight you experience in the realization of your oneness with pure spirit. With every breath, realize you glow with God. Then you will know absolutely that the flame of the Godhead is always alight within you. You will realize that Spirit's delight is your seeking of itself within yourself. Once this discovery is made, cosmic delight engulfs in oneness the seeker, the act of seeking, and that which is sought. There's an affirmation that says, "The Spirit ever gives of itself in lavish abundance. I receive the gift and delight in its sweetness." We are the light itself, and our light that is seeking to reveal and emerge in a particular way seeks itself. It recognizes itself. That's the brilliance. So what I'm saying yes to doing, and I'll invite you all to join me, is to really be present with our divine nature, the light that is within ourselves, our inner garden, if you will, to really just be present to recognizing any conditioning or circumstances that have shaped us, and we get to be present with all that we are, and tend to it like a garden. We illuminate from within, we express from within. And as our inner light guides us, our journey of growth and expansion takes place. This is our blooming, right? So just like the rose bush, right? We lean into that. We become present to the nurturing and the cultivation of our inner garden, our light. When we cultivate that, when we become present to that, then we get to shine. We get to the how I see it is we're always shining, right? We're always shining, but the awareness of it, the embodiment of that, the recognition of that within ourselves illuminates that. brightens that. Yesterday, there was I have a 21-day meditation practice that I facilitate, and a lot of folks are here that participate in that. But yesterday, the intention was cultivate. And that's what we get to do when we nurture and tend to our inner garden, right? We get to cultivate our true nature, cultivate what is true and real, and really become present with that, letting go of anything that looks like false belief or limiting thoughts. Uh, not that not that those don't serve us, but we really want to be aware of if it's a habitual thought, if it's a false belief, then we get to be present to it and maybe get some information from it. But what we really want to do is cultivate that consciousness of radiant love and light that is our nature. And so what came through yesterday, and I'm just going to read from the little bit that I put in the email, is like form follows consciousness. And through our spiritual practice, we are continuously expanding by moving past limiting thoughts and false beliefs and remembering and affirming what is true. This is the cultivating of our consciousness. And as we continue to feed the mind, the body, and the soul with that which is true and inspiring, we begin to develop and expand. We develop an expanded consciousness that is open and receptive to the truth, and that is revealed from within. As we hear it and we listen to it, I'm quoting Reverend Kathleen McNamara here, we wake up quicker. So when we wake up quicker, that is the nutrients, right? The energy that we give to the blooming, the blossoming. I also wrote, as we awaken, we cultivate. We are in collaboration. We are in vibrational harmony with divine creativity. And we become brighter beacons of love, of beauty, of prosperity, of light. So how do we cultivate that? What's the way in which we can really be present to that? We have our prayer practice, we have our meditation practice. But again, I want to talk about that leaning into the light as the roses are leaning into that and letting their bloom show. There's more that's going on than just that beautiful bloom, right? There's all the things that are underneath. There's the roots, there's even the darkness of the roots and the energy that flows through that trunk and all the way up to that 10-foot blossom, leaning towards the light that it receives and is met. And then there is that circulation that takes place. So what that is evidence of for me is that source energy is every aspect of our lives, every aspect of all lives. We are the root, we are the tree, the branch, the flower, the bloom. We are the light. And that gets reflected back to us. So we want to embody that in the highest way possible, to just be present to that source energy, to practice and to delight in the light that we are, to express it in the fullest way possible in all that we come in contact with and create, to be the conduit and the good steward of that energy, and to be so rooted in knowing that it is our true nature. So let's just take a few moments together to expand in the awareness of our own brilliance within. So join me, just like get comfortable. Let's get back into that space that was so lovingly created with Garrick earlier. And just check in with the body and find that space within your own being of where the light is. What I know is that even beyond what may have the appearance of being dark or dim, that there is still a light. It is evident. It is, even if it's a glimmer, when we put our attention on it, it illuminates. So find that area within the very essence of your being. For me, it's rooted, it's right center, heart space. So allow the heart to open if it's there for you. Yarrick spoke to this early. And as you feel into that space, let all aspects of your being soften. And let the light turn up, illuminate. Let it start to glow and grow. Maybe moving past the space that it was in and flowing through the whole body. For me, it's down into the abdomen, the root chakra, down the legs, the calves, the feet, back up through the chest and shoulders, all aspects of my being, the throat chakra. Let it bring a smile to the face. Let that inner light that is your nature, your inner garden, if you will, bloom in its fullness in the light of your own divinity. And as you are blooming, illuminating, just let it flow and glow from you, from within, and let it touch all that is coming into your awareness in this moment. Your surroundings, your home, wherever you may be, just lean into it and allow it to flow from you in any particular direction. And I feel myself leaning into that like energy. Let us be that brilliance. Let the blooming that is our nature, our love, our light, our own essence, be the brilliance that touches each one that we come in contact with, all that we participate in. Let it be met and magnified. And let us know that this is not just a one and done. This is and a way of being as we continue to bloom into brilliance. That brilliance shines back and we bloom even brighter. We magnify the presence as our nature, this love that we are cultivating within the very essence of our being. And we get to be that healing presence, that space of light that touches all and expresses itself everywhere. So we get to commit and participate from the space. we get to be so very present to the fullness of our being that is light itself, and just spread that radiant love and light wherever we go. Bloom into brilliance in every connection, every conversation, in the workplace, even with those neighbors. Let our blooming into brilliance be the light that shifts all energy, that brings peace to this planet, that ignites creativity in all that we come in contact with, that touches every little life that we participate in, and every magnificent life that has so much to teach us. Let us lean in and let our brightness, our light, be the brilliance that magnifies someone who might not be having the brightest day. This is our call to action, to just allow that to flow. And then it comes back. We create that brilliance that is taking place. So this is what I'm saying yes to on this day. This is what I know is available to each of us as the one of us, to bloom, continue blooming into brilliance. I'm going to read from the 21 days from today. It was brilliance was the intention. I wonder where that came from. But here I wrote, everything is light. Even in the darkness, light is present and essential. Knowing that the essence of our being is light and that it is revealed in, through, and as us, it leans into the connection of other light sources. When this connection is made, it is brilliant. The realization and acknowledgement of our own light and the light that is everywhere illuminates the presence of light, and it is brilliance. So shine, lean in, illuminate, and be brilliant. Blooming into brilliance. Thank you.